right, boom. Now we back.
All right, we're back.
See,
There
Those
it
are my
is.
microphone.
There it is.
listen,
All right, we're back.
listen to me. How did y'all do for real with your affirmations and the push-ups in the water? Lopez.
All right, I'll start. So the water for me is getting actually easier. So I was talking off camera about it. I found a brand of water that's sold by 40 per case.
That's a lot of water. What's the brand?
Like
Let's try to get a little sponsorship.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
Come on, Lopez. You drinking 45 bottles of water a day. You don't remember the name. You don't look at the bottle to see what it say on it.
It's
Poland Spring.
it's not that. It's lower than
Aquafina.
that.
Is Aquafina even one?
It's lower than that. It's not
It's
quite.
lower.
It's not quite signature.
Deer Spring. Is that
If
one?
you're
Nah.
if you're a grocery
Signature
shopper,
is
you
like-
know,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
you know what I'm
I
talking
know
about. So
Signature.
those people who do grocery
Yeah.
shop,
Signature.
signature is not quite signature.
Hey,
It's just above that.
We don't discriminate. Signature.
Is it
Yeah,
a
so-
refresh?
Signature.
No, they kind of in the same family. Refresh.
No,
and Signature.
no. Refresh. I know the bottle for that.
Yeah.
It's not them. It's something I
You
never
know the
heard
bottle
of.
for that, but you don't know the bottle
But-
for the 45,000 packs of water that you go through a day.
Listen, I saw it 40 for $3, and I grabbed a bunch of them. So I grabbed
Makes
a bunch of them.
sense.
So I gave some to our softball team for their games this week, and I put a couple in the truck to take to work.
It's
So
ridiculous.
I'm knocking down bottles, which is getting easier.
Is it water? Do you even know if it's water or not?
It is water. I don't know if it's alkaline though. I think that's the real question.
Okay.
It is water. It could be spigot. It could be.
Ew. Spigot. Like, that
That
word.
just sound crazy.
It's not great. You know what's crazy is that spigot water or tap water is actually cleaner than some.
That's
of
what I
the
heard.
drink anyway.
That's what I
So,
heard. Yeah.
You know, let's not get it twisted.
No, it's not.
Let's not get it twisted. We can test it. We can test that theory one day on the show in the future. We can really
Yep.
do that.
I actually think you're right. I just wanted to say
Yeah,
that.
it definitely is. So push-ups have been getting better. I'm actually going back to the gym.
And you lost a couple pounds, right?
I did. I'm down 6.
Hey,
Y'all
are
Hey,
killing
bro.
it. Y'all are
Yeah,
killing
man.
it.
I'm down
Good
6.
job.
So once I get back to the gym, I think that number will go lower.
Hold on. Let me talk about me real quick.
Okay.
My weight is all over the place because I was 151 2 days ago.
Can I be honest?
Then I was
Can I just-
157.
Can I be honest for a
I
second?
was 153.
Right, go ahead.
I can't really
No
feel bad for
type
somebody
of
who
simple.
weighs 150 pounds.
Soaking wet.
When I haven't seen 150 probably since middle school, so I can't really.
But remember, this is important because I was pre-diabetic. Somehow I was on diet. I was about to be considered a diabetic at 168.
Okay.
So that's why I'm trying to keep it down. But still, it's been fluctuating like crazy. Lopez, explain this. Please go. Lopez.
What?
Confidence.
He said,
So,
all right,
Mustafa.
he said, explain it. Okay.
Explain
so
it to me right now.
I mean, I don't know how much lower you can go. Honestly, like you know, I don't expect you to walk in here and say I dropped 10. I would probably be
that'd
concerned.
be crazy.
Yeah, I would probably be
Can y'all
concerned.
tell the difference between 168 and 153
Yes.
right now?
Yeah.
You could?
Yeah.
You could for real?
168, 153. Definitely.
For real with me.
On you,
Mhm.
yes, yeah.
Well, I ain't saying nothing about me being a heavy little young boy then.
Gosh.
Y'all just let me walk around being heavy. Nobody hold me accountable, man. See, that's what I'm talking about.
No,
I
when was
did
you
hold you
168?
accountable.
You saw my little belly and stuff.
When was 168?
February.
I was gonna say like November, December.
November, December, January,
Okay.
But
February.
that was
Okay.
but that was hoodie season, so I didn't really.
Right,
was
right.
just-
That
I didn't
that
really
might
see
confuse
that.
you. You're right.
I ain't had no chipmunk cheeks, nothing like that?
Nah, bro.
No.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, so that was hoodie season. So
Good,
I
okay,
didn't see
enough
it.
of me though. Thank you for entertaining that briefly. So,
Like, how do you
you're
just
good,
be
though.
cutting cats off? Like,
Yeah.
in mid
I didn't even get to the
though, like,
affirmations.
you know
I
what
didn't get to my
mean? That's what
You
we
back.
was talking about.
You
That's what we was
back.
talking
I had
about.
some good ones.
Excuse me.
So
Go ahead,
affirmation this week. Affirmation this week. I actually listened to the one that you sent, Deb, which was a really good one.
Yeah,
That was pretty
that
good.
was-
Yeah, I did
Doesn't it
appreciate
sound
that.
funny when it says blue, green, water? Did you listen to it yet?
I listened to it on
Fresh
Tuesday.
green,
Yeah,
blue, green, water.
I got a good chuckle off that one.
Dumb creepy.
So for what y'all don't know, I sent them a clip or something, and there's a lot of good stuff he's saying in there, but he says like, picture yourself in the midst of water,
Yeah.
but not just any water, blue, green, water.
What the hell?
I'm like, yo, blue, green, water. Like, yo, let's move on to something else.
Yeah.
But that was pretty good. I'm gonna send y'all some more. What about you, Pat? How'd you do with the affirmations, push-ups, and water? Honestly,
The water is normal. The water is normal for me, and thankfully we got a filtered water station here. So I mean, the water was pretty much
Your
easy.
school has a filtered water station?
2 of them.
Nice.
Yeah, not bad. Nah, not really.
Around these parts here.
Whatever. The push-ups, I missed 1 day, 2 days, but I lifted. So
No,
Yeah, I mean-
no.
okay, well then I gotta make them up.
No, make those choices.
I'll make them up. Whatever.
On camera today.
The affirmations.
On camera.
That's fine. That's fine.
You said it last time.
And I did it. And I did it. It didn't take me an hour. Because you was just like, oh, look at Pat. Yeah, right.
Yeah, take you an hour.
It was all hype. It don't take me an hour. I mean, I probably weigh more than both of y'all combined. So if it take me an hour, then it's cool. So shut up.
He just told 37 trillion cells in his body that he already has an excuse built up. So it probably takes.
But I also told him I'm gonna get it done.
So now you just confused your whole self.
No dice.
Which way you gonna go?
They know. My cells know. They know.
How come we had to remind them last time?
They spring into action when.
Yes, sir.
How come we had to remind them at the end of it then?
We did.
I was busy. I was busy trying to.
There was no hesitation, so I'm gonna play the devil's advocate. There was no
Absolutely.
hesitation.
There you go.
We're completing them on camera.
I'm listening to Mustafa. But okay, so
there you go.
You did your water, the push-ups.
The affirmations, I listened to the one that you sent on Tuesday. I kind of.
That one? Kind of weird.
It was weird. But I wanted to, because you sent it out, I was gonna give it a shot. But
I found a good one though. I'm gonna send it to you. It's
all right.
a weird voice. The music's pretty chill.
Cool.
No blue-green water. Like
Yeah.
Did y'all catch him when he said that though? And did y'all frown like I did, or did?
I was already kind of like.
Why am I listening to this?
Yeah. All right. I get it. I get the.
They say they try to change their voice to try to put you in a certain state.
A state of calm or reflectiveness
like
or
my
whatever.
man Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Okay.
He talks regular like this, but when he does his meditation classes, he's talking like this on purpose because
no dice.
I'm
I can't rock with you. No, I can't rock.
See, when you don't know what's coming, that kind of like I didn't know what that was. That kind of threw me. So it did put me in a good mood though because I was smiling listening to it. So
come on, man.
But I don't know if the point was.
He said he was smiling listening to us. I just pictured him recording himself listening to it. You know what I mean? Like he put his iPhone out and just put it on his face so he listen and smile and look at himself. You know. Okay.
That was good though.
But okay, so I missed yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I did 100 push-ups today, and I'm behind on my order. So I've been lacking this week.
Oh yeah, you slacking, bro.
I think we should.
I would have thought you would have drunk more water yesterday.
I was moving around. I did drink a lot of water, but I was just moving around. Then when I got home, I called Pat, and I think I called you up too. And I just said I gotta get these drugs in me so I can be chill.
Yeah.
But no excuse. That's an excuse. I just made one. So I did 100 push-ups today. I gotta finish my water today, and let's put some money on this, y'all. Put your money where your mouth is. Next week.
Skin in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm bringing 50. Bring $50. Bring $50. Loser. What are we gonna do with this money? I just said we gotta put some money on it. If somebody doesn't do it, they owe the other person $50 each.
In the pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
So if you and me get it done, and you don't get it done, you owe him 50 and you owe me 50.
Oh.
If I get it done,
says the brother with no kids. Like,
if I get it done, then you owe me 50 and you owe me 50.
Okay.
Okay, so see how it works here?
Okay.
If all three of us get it done, just take your 50 back.
That's fine.
I'm serious though, guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hunt y'all down and I'm gonna say with the 50.
You ain't got to. Yeah, you know where I'm at.
Yeah, but y'all be running.
No dice.
No running.
Lopez.
No running.
I don't even know.
No running.
I barely see.
You know where I work at?
You be high.
I'm there every day till 5. I can't
go
I know, and I don't miss work, so I'm always
bills, there. Okay? You got cash. No cash app. Cash.
All right.
All right, I'm for real.
2010.
I'm for
20s
real.
and 10.
Okay. Whatever. I don't care the numerical, whatever. Lopez.
Bring a bag of change.
Bring a bag of change. That's gonna be mine because you're gonna lose.
Bag of
Once
rusty
money
nickels.
gets on it,
There you
it's
go.
You're gonna get $50 in a book bag.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All right, what we got?
We're going to move right on to this. Lopez was in charge today for the top 4 topic. We already know about it. We already know what Instant Grits is about, okay? We trying to work hard, and we ain't trying to be lames no more. We trying to work hard and be accountable and help people, okay? If you don't know what we mean already, go back to episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lopez, we're in the top 4 topic. Oh, yeah. We're on iTunes. What else?
iTunes, Spotify, Google Play.
Thank you so much for voting on iTunes, and thank you for all the followers that subscribe to Spotify, iTunes, all of them. All those comments have gone up. We're climbing up the rankings already, so please, for real, that will mean so much.
Yes, much appreciated. Much appreciated.
So please spread the word. What else are we on?
Stitcher. And Podbean.
InstantGrits.podbean.com. That's where everything is located.
Yeah.
So just go on any of those platforms and just vote and just subscribe and just follow us, man. Thanks a lot. So I was worried about giving Lopez this topic. I really was.
Why was you worried about me?
Lopez, I'm always worried about you.
Okay.
If this camera isn't on, I just don't know who you are. The only time I ever see light in your eyes is whenever I see that red.
Well,
square.
fortunately, the camera is always on.
That's
so
why I'm
we're
happy.
good.
But it's not on all the time. Maybe I should just walk around with the cameras because that's the only time I ever see light in his eyeballs.
I'll be ready.
Okay, well,
Definitely be ready.
he was in charge for the top 4 topic. So let's give us a little overview of how you came with this topic.
Okay.
And we're gonna go. We have no prep time for this, right?
No prep
Cool.
time. I purposely did not tell the guys. I told them what the title was. I didn't tell them any names, purposely because I want them to have zero time to think about this.
0 time. Okay.
Zero time. I want an instant, in the moment
Like you with Kentucky
dissection.
last week, just saying Kentucky gotta stay.
Yes.
The
Yes.
ludicrousness.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
I didn't-
Unbelievable.
I didn't have any more, but I was
Ludicrousness.
swayed. I was swayed though. I was
Something
swayed.
else.
Yeah.
I was swayed. So I had to do some real thought on this one because I already know I'm going to leave some people out. So I'm sure those who are listening or watching, you're going to say, "Oh, but what about this person? What about that person?" But we only can do 4, so
Only
we'll leave
4.
it at that. And this is my 4.
How you feel, Patrick? You ready for this?
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, I'm not
just
nervous
waiting.
about this one.
No,
So
no,
you're
I'm
not
not
nervous?
nervous. No,
I'm a
not
little
nervous.
nervous because I just feel like you really want to just say something to piss me off today.
Well,
Maybe just because I'm in a
yeah.
bad mood.
Oh,
That's
Then
it.
we'll
see
do
how
what
this
we
went.
do.
We'll see how this went.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay, so the top 4 we're doing today
Mm-hmm.
is the top 4 players whose careers were ended early due to injury.
Mm-hmm.
NBA players.
So I'm already.
So these are players who
I got 3 right now.
these are players
I
who
got 3 of them.
entered the NBA and through some happening had their career shortened or changed due to some kind of major injury. Okay.
So not instant retire. Just
Not
something
instant retire.
happened,
They continue to
changed.
play, but
Mhm.
something happened due to the injury, not their game or anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
that changed their game and
Okay.
the rest of their career.
All right, I'm gonna,
Okay.
let's hear these.
Okay.
All 4. No, let's go.
All right. Player 1,
Oh crap.
Penny Hardaway.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Penny. Jeez.
Penny Hardaway.
Remember Little Penny with Chris Rock doing the voice?
Yeah.
These little kids don't know about that.
Nah, they don't remember. They got the sneaks now.
Don't know about that. Yeah, they
$160.
will pennies all the time.
Yeah.
They don't even know.
They all like these
Never,
shirts.
never watched
Those
it.
are pennies, young boy.
Player 2, Grant Hill.
Absolutely.
That was the next Jordan, yo.
Grant Hill.
They sent that, right?
Yep.
Dang, Penny
Ferocious
Hardaway.
college player.
I gotta type these down.
Type him down.
All right. Go.
Player 3,
Oh no.
T-Mac.
Mm.
Why you throw team?
T-Mac.
This is not gonna be good.
Okay.
T-Mac.
This is gonna be tough.
Stay with me.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
trying.
And player 4,
What you say?
Brandon Roy.
Ooh.
Brandon
Hmm.
Roy.
When I played video games, I was always the Blazers because of Brandon Roy.
Brandon
That's
Roy.
tough.
He did
And young
everything.
people, if you don't know who he is,
Yeah, you need to
Google.
look back.
Hold on.
Brandon Roy.
Yeah.
And we're not voting for.
He was
One
just
gotta
gonna
go
vote.
from there.
One has to go.
Why did I ask that question when I already knew?
You know the criteria. So one has to go.
I'm gonna type this down. Let's see who stays first. Who has to stay?
Penny Hardaway.
Oh, see, I don't know that no more, bro.
You're tripping.
No,
You're tripping.
I'm not.
You're tripping.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So can I say the criteria why these guys made it, right? Because I know there's
Okay, yeah,
there's
let's-
other
let's
We
players,
left out.
right? There's other
D.
we
Rose.
left out D Rose, we left out Bernard
He's still
King.
kind of playing. Ooh, man.
Bernard King.
Bernard
We
King
left out
is a
some
tough
names.
one.
So it was a tough choice to get the 4, which should make these so good because there's always some people that we miss, right?
Right.
But what I looked at was perennial all-stars prior to the injury,
Mm-hmm.
impact on the league, and what their workload was with their franchise before they got injured.
I'm telling y'all right now, this is gonna
So-
go down to 2.
We can do that.
Because I think y'all are gonna make the easy choice, and it's gonna piss me off.
I mean, nobody's
Okay.
really worried about
So,
that.
so
Just saying.
Stop undermining me.
Just telling you.
So we're talking about who's the universal gotta stay guy first.
Who got to say? We have Penny Hardaway, Brandon Roy. You said Grant,
Grant
Hill,
Hill,
and T-Man.
And T-Man.
Why'd you do this one? All right, who got to stay? Come on.
For me first, Penny Hardaway has to stay. Are we giving reasons now? We giving rationale?
Tell me why.
Okay.
Convince me why he got to stay.
Sure. And Penny Hardaway
Besides
at the
Blue
height
Chips.
of no, forget Blue Chips.
No,
That's just what put him on. It was. But Penny Hardaway at the height of his game before the knee injury was probably the second best player in the NBA next to Michael Jordan.
Ooh, no.
Yes, sir.
No.
Yes,
Wait,
sir.
let's think about that.
Yes,
Let's
sir.
think about
Yes,
that.
sir.
Well, then how come he couldn't get him?
How come we couldn't get who?
He couldn't get him to the final.
They did get to the
They
finals.
got to the finals.
When?
90
Against the Rockets,
Yeah,
man.
95.
They got smacked, right?
Okay, they got smacked.
No, I'm not
Shaq.
even trying to be funny.
We're going to go back to that early argument. Remember the Biggs argument? It wasn't Penny that lost the series.
It was your guy.
Hakeem just crushed Shaq. That's all.
Hakeem killed Shaq.
Listen,
I mean,
you already finished that list.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I just
You
wanted
should be.
And
So-
Penny took the league by storm too.
He
I mean,
really
really
did.
came
How?
in
He
there.
really did. I mean, he kind of he
Where did he go to college?
he went to Memphis.
Memphis.
From Memphis.
He's right from there too, and he's actually the head coach there now. He came in as a athletic Magic Johnson, which kind of took everybody
Jesus.
like, oh my God, because he could pass like Magic, he could see the floor, unbelievable court vision, he had a handle, but he had spring. He would dunk on anybody at any given time.
How
Finish with contact.
What's his size? How big was he?
6'7".
6'8". Yeah, 6'7".
That's a big guard, bro.
Yeah,
That's a
it's a
big
huge
point
guard. Huge point guard.
So he can't leave.
Nah, he can't leave.
How
Perennial
many
all-star.
prime years was he in his prime?
I say 3.
That's not enough.
No.
That is not enough.
Before the injury.
So
Before the injury.
I think he had more
No.
than 3.
I think
three.
that-
Prime years?
Yeah, prime,
Yeah.
for real.
Prime years. So Penny came in.
And I mean, I had
Even
I
when
had that
Shaq
stuff written
left.
down. So
Penny came in 94.
93. No, him and Shaq wasn't in the same draft, right?
No, him and Shaq wasn't in the same draft. No. So he came in 93. He came in 93, 94. So he had that season.
Mm-hmm.
He had a 94, 95 season when they went to the finals. He had the 95, 96 season. After that season is when Shaq left. That very next season, 96, 97, is when he got hurt.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying prime years when he was at full strength
Right. So yeah, about
was
3
those
and a half, yeah.
first 3 years.
Let's give him a little bit more than 3. For real.
No, I mean because
He wasn't the same.
After he got injured, he was out for a while.
When did he get
Yeah.
injured?
He gained weight when he came back.
Right.
When did he get injured?
He got injured during that 96, 97 season.
What was the injury?
I think it was like a meniscus, a lateral meniscus or something.
That's it. That's
No. No.
It's crazy that we would say that now because
That's
the
like
medicine's so
straight on
much
the top.
better.
Yeah, but it was I mean, it was for him it was bad. Like, cause he lost that lift.
Yeah.
He lost that lift that he had in that explosion because he
Right.
would pop up off the ground like nobody's business. So
You can't take
I mean,
Grant Hill off that list at all.
no, I don't believe that you can. And him
That's
like
what I said you
Penny.
can't take off.
Him like Penny had probably the same amount of prime years before.
No, Grant
No, Grant had more
Grant
when he
won
was with
3.
Detroit.
Grant came in 94,
The ugly Piston
right?
jerseys that
Okay, I
was.
got you. Grant came in 94. When did the injury happen? When he got traded to Orlando.
No, before that, because man, he had an ankle injury.
Okay,
Detroit
that's what I
forced him to
thought.
play.
That's what I thought. What year did he get traded to Orlando?
I don't know.
98.
Do we got internet in here? Why we acting like
Hey, we can look it up.
I don't know this Wi-Fi
You
bastard.
can look it up on the phone now. You can look it up on your phone.
Don't touch
He got
Lopez's
wait,
phone.
wait a minute. He
You
got
already know how
traded. He got
Lopez is.
traded. He got traded in '98 to Orlando.
I
I thought it
believe
was
he
looking
got
after that.
Who did he get traded with?
No. I don't think it was.
Who did he get traded
Let me
with?
see.
Didn't he
We're
get
gonna
traded
find
with
out.
somebody who was like a joint
Yeah,
trade?
yeah. It was a package deal.
Is that when Stackhouse came to? No, because him and Stack played together for a while.
Him and Stackhouse played together for about 2 years. Because
Stack
Stackhouse,
led league in scoring or something like that.
yeah,
Okay, so
for
obviously I don't remember anything. If you guys hear me in my background, this is being completely wrong. So I'm not gonna say anything about that. What I
Oh,
will
this
say
is a little.
is,
This is a little before your time.
I was
This is
I was
time.
like
Yeah.
10,
Yeah.
11. But he was my favorite player. That's the only reason. Grant Hill was my favorite player.
Okay.
I had all his jerseys, and I was like, yo, this dude is tough. He's nasty.
Yeah.
And I saw an interview where they said, who's going to be the next Jordan between Penny Hardaway and Grant Hill? They asked Jordan or somebody, and Jordan said, Grant Hill. And Grant Hill was jumping, dunking, all
So
over
he
the place.
played for the Pistons. I'm sorry, you're right. You're right.
Of course I'm right.
Not really. He played for the Pistons from '94 to 2000.
Yeah. Okay. I knew it was late.
So right before, his injury happened like right before
Right.
he got traded.
Because I do know
in
what happened with
2000.
that. He had a bad ankle injury.
Right.
He stayed out, and then the Pistons pressured him to play in the playoffs,
Right.
which he shouldn't have did, but he did anyway. It made it worse.
Crushed it.
And from then on, it was game over.
It took him. I won't say it took him a while to even come back. When they traded him, he was hurt, and he still didn't play for Orlando right away because he kept coming back and wasn't really right.
Okay.
Okay. Then he kind of salvaged something. Salvaged a little bit of career there and then at Phoenix.
So let's just bring up now. Let's bring up Brandon Roy real quick.
Okay.
Brandon Roy.
Beast, man.
Was to me where Damian Lillard is now with popularity.
Yeah.
Because Brandon Roy was people was sleeping on him until they saw him drop. What he dropped? He dropped like 50 or something, a couple of games back to back or something crazy against LA. I can't
Kobe.
remember.
Yeah, he was giving Kobe the fifth.
And that was against a tough LA team, a very physical Western Conference.
And he could shoot. Like what was he, about 6'5"?
I think 6'5", 6'6". Yeah.
He could dribble. He could shoot. He defended. That dude was
He wasn't overly athletic, but he's very skilled though.
He was
very skilled.
And I remember playing NBA Live and 2K. I was like, yo, I don't even want to be a West Coast team.
So 2000 is the year that Grant Hill got injured. So that's just
2000.
2000.
And he came in at 94, you said, right?
Yep. So he had
6 years.
6 years.
6 year window. Now, what happened with Brandon Roy? Because, hold on, first of all, y'all should give a quick little background real quick. Because people don't realize how nasty this dude was.
Oh, my God.
He could shoot. He was about 6'5". How much did he average in college? Do y'all even remember? What college did he go to?
That's a good question.
I think it was a West.
He had to go to like Washington or something like that?
Yeah, I thought so.
It wasn't Washington?
Went to Washington.
He put up numbers there, didn't he?
And I think that's why Portland was high on him because they watched him.
He came out of Washington.
Go get the historian looking it up. He came out of Washington what year?
I had it before the story. Before the internet.
2006. 2006.
Oh, man, that's not too far away.
Yeah.
That's why I was about that dude, because I thought I knew stuff.
Yeah.
That was right in my age range where I'm like, all right, I know basketball now.
Now, he had some kind of condition that deteriorated the ligaments in his knees.
Right.
And so it wasn't the injury per se. It was almost what they was worried about with Steph Curry with his ankles. Like early in Steph Curry's career, they was worried about.
He had something anatomical.
So it was weakened.
Yeah, it was something weakened, and the ligaments just kept deteriorating to the point where he just.
For real? Was that bad?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and then it wound up being a meniscus there.
Yeah.
But it really stemmed from not the meniscus tear. The meniscus tear was a result of everything else.
Right.
Okay.
True.
Dang. How many years do y'all think he had?
Prime years?
4.
I would say that was Patrick. Yeah. 4 or 3. But was he really a flamer those years though?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You had because during that time you had probably about 3 or 4 what you would call like killers that you could say it was Brandon Roy was one, T-Mac, Gilbert Arenas, and Kobe.
Man, you were saying Gilbert.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Gilbert definitely.
People don't know about him.
Gilbert definitely.
Yeah, those were like your top 4.
Could
like
he have
closers.
been considered on the list? Or did he just get?
Well, his wasn't
guns?
right. Yeah, his wasn't injured.
Yeah.
I like his podcast though. His podcast is actually pretty good.
Yeah. I think Brandon Roy out of that group.
No, so
no. Don't you say that.
No, I'm thinking Brandon Roy out of that group.
He was up there with them boys.
Yeah, I mean he's not like.
Oh, you talking about with the killers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah,
definitely. He was there.
He wasn't no slouch.
I can't even think of who else played. Like, was Sheedham on that team when he was there? Or
no. At that time,
I can't remember who played
at
with
that time.
Marcus Camby.
I don't think she was still playing.
They had a squad. He wasn't like.
Yeah, no, they had a good team. I think.
Who was
their guard?
Who was Brandon Roy's team that year when he was in his prime? Did he have a team or was he just like?
He had a team because I want to say they were in the playoffs.
I think Sabonis was probably. Sabonis was before that. He was well before
Outlaw.
that.
Oh, Outlaw. Jeez, he's throwing out some.
Yeah, he had a. Let me see. This is the magic of the internet. We can.
Yeah, look that up.
We can look some things.
Well, you looking that up though. Brandon Roy is nasty, but I want to ask Lopez this question: when did T-Mac pass Vince Carter? Because remember, he was considered his cousin. Remember, he was just considered. That's
he passed him when he went to
Houston.
No, when he went to Orlando.
Yeah.
Wait, he's the one that went with Grant, didn't he?
No, I mean Grant was there with him, but
I thought they signed something at the same time.
Remember, T-Mac played for. I think T-Mac only played his rookie deal through Toronto.
All right, here we go.
What is this?
LaMarcus Aldridge, Dan Dickow, Jared Jack, Fred Jones, Rafe LaFrentz, Jamal McGlure, Darius Miles, Travis Outlaw, Joel Prisbilla, Zach Randolph, Brandon Roy, Sergio Rodriguez.
They had a squad.
Even the first names that you said were nasty. Say them.
Yeah, LaMarcus Aldridge.
LaMarcus Aldridge was
Jared Jack.
Texas.
Jared Jack was tough.
Jared Jack was a good guard out of Georgia Tech.
Dan Dickow played for Gonzaga.
He was a shooter.
Yeah, he was a shooter.
Yeah.
Fred Jones was athletic. Rafe LaFrance from Kansas.
Where did Fred Jones go?
Fred Jones, he left there. He left there, went to the Pacers. Yeah,
okay.
Jamal McGlure was like a tough.
He was good years for the Hornets.
Yeah,
good years.
Yeah.
A young Darius Miles.
He was in high school ball. He came out of high school.
Yeah.
And
that was Darius after he went to Clippers. He went to Clippers and then
he went to the Clippers first and then went there. And then Zebo.
Zach Randolph, young guy.
Yeah.
That's a good little squad.
Yeah, that's a tough
squad. How far did they make it?
They would get
during his prime years.
During his prime years, I think they would definitely get out of the first round.
But who could
most of those years?
That's a squad. There's some squads back.
I mean, they ran into the Lakers.
I mean, the Lakers was running it during that time. The Lakers,
the Suns was
Sacramento.
Tough. Sacramento was still
Who the Suns had? They had Nash.
Amari and Nash. Yes.
And then who did Sacramento have? Did they have Jason Williams and Chris Webber?
They didn't have Jason Williams anymore. They had Bibby and Webber and Divac and Peja.
Sheesh.
You know.
And
Turkoglu.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, that was a tough time on the West Coast, man.
That was tough.
But and Roy was out there owning them.
Yeah,
so it wasn't like it was soft.
Giving them the fist.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was a soft West Coast schedule. He was out there owning that.
But T-Mac was high school too, right?
T-Mac came out of high school.
Who drafted him?
Toronto.
And he sat.
And he really didn't play much his first year. I think his first year was like 98, 99. Yeah. You know, and then they had the NBA had that lockout year, but his breakout year was that year that he and Vince were in a dunk contest.
Right.
That's when people really started paying attention to T-Mac.
Was he in it with him, or was he just helping him?
No, he was in it.
No, he was in it. No, he was in it.
I mean, he was in it. He had some nasty dunks himself.
He was in it himself.
You know.
What was that? Vince Carter's breakout dunk contest?
Yes.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
and I remember T-Mac said he had no shot.
Yeah, he knew it. He didn't even really want to do it. He said he didn't want to do it, but Vince he convinced him to do it. Yeah.
What was that? What documentary was that on? What show?
That was on Vince's.
Vince Sanity. Vince Sanity. Yeah.
When did he get better than Vince?
At Orlando.
Went to Orlando. So I think there was there was never tension between him and Vince, but I think he knew that he wanted more of a role on the team, and I don't know if it was a coaching thing at the time, or I don't know what player started over him at that time, but he went to Orlando, and that's where he led the league in scoring, had 60-point game.
So was he like on Kobe's level when it came to scoring and how to get a bucket? Was he a little bit more wiggly?
The Orlando T-Mac?
Yeah.
I would say, yeah.
Because he took tough fadeaways, too. He would put you in the post.
Yeah.
He would back you down. He would shoot the three.
And he would go right at you.
And even Kobe says he was a tough cover.
Yeah.
Prime Kobe versus prime T-Mac.
Prime Kobe would say he's a tough cover.
One-on-one. Who you got? One-on-one, not in the game. Everybody know one-on-one is different. Who you got?
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Game 2-11. What do you think?
You know what's funny is they did an interview where Kobe talked about them playing one-on-one, and T-Mac said he beat him 11-3. And of course, Kobe conveniently said, "I don't remember that happening." But like the way that T-Mac was responding, like you could tell, like it probably did happen, but of course Kobe not gonna say it. But because T-Mac was emphatic, saying, "Listen, we played like over across seas somewhere, and I beat you 11-3, so I'm not gonna throw that out there or something like that."
Is he as mentally? Can he handle that mental load like Kobe could? If they did play one-on-one, would he be worried about Kobe getting to his head or nothing like that?
No, but you know what? The one thing that plagued him though, and this is what eventually, led to his demise, was his back.
Yeah.
So even then, in that interview when I watched him, Kobe, they showed a clip where T-Mac said we was playing against LA, and this was in the beginning of his back troubles, and he said either he mentioned it to Kobe or maybe the announcers were talking about it, something like that. And he said during the course of the game, he felt that Kobe intentionally elbowed him in his back to aggravate it. Like he had just came back off missing a game or two. And so, of course, Kobe was like, well, I did, but not to hurt you type thing. I did do it, but he knew that at that time he was still suffering from like a sore back where he would miss games here and there. Even though he was like leading the league in scoring, stuff like that. It didn't plague him, but it was the beginning of, that issue.
Out of this group, who's the best scorer? before we take one away, because first of all, T-Mac had some good years, right? How many prime years do you think T-Mac had?
I think he had the most. He
probably had the most.
Because he had a run in Orlando, he had a run in Houston.
Yeah.
But who was the best scorer out of this?
T-Mac.
Ooh.
Scorer. T-Mac.
Pure scorer.
Over Brandon?
Yeah.
Because T-Mac was Durant before Durant.
Correct.
He was 6'8", 6'9", can pull up right on you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch a lot of his highlights, it wasn't really a whole lot of. He had the wiggle and stuff like that, but sometimes he can just hesitate and just pull up on anybody. And
what's funny is how come we don't hear that enough? How come we don't hear people say like T-Mac was the first Durant? Why does that still be?
I don't think people make that comparison.
Because he's built. T-Mac was built.
Yeah, but I mean, he was slender built, but he wasn't like a real.
He got pretty strong once he started picking up weights. You're right. He was slim.
Yeah, he was on the slender side, but
right when he got to that Orlando or his last year at Toronto, you could see him when he was shooting his free throws. He was starting to fill out.
Yeah, he definitely was.
So he could carry. What I'm saying is, I guess he could carry more weight than his body, his frame allowed him to carry more weight than T-Mac. No, not than T-Mac. Than
KD.
Durant. Yeah.
Who won 1-on-1 versus those two? Is that a thing of who could stop who the most? Versus
That's who missed first. Whoever missed first lose.
Yeah. I think KD would get him.
It's hard because T-Mac was a defender. He was not.
Yeah, that's what I mean. He could play defense too.
He was a steals person and a blocks person. So it wasn't like he wasn't a good defender. He had good feet, good movement.
Yep.
Out of these four, who was the best player? And that's the last one. We said who's the best scorer, who's the best player. Penny, Brandon, Grant Hill.
Are you saying
T-Mac.
like as far as their ceiling or what they actually showed us, like at their peaks before they got injured?
In your opinion, in their peaks, who is the best player? This has nothing to do with who we're taking out. I just want to know who y'all think is the best player. Because honestly, y'all seem just a little bit more than me.
That's tough, man.
I need
I want to say.
Lopez, we pay you big bucks to make these tough questions. Now, if you can't handle it, I'll step in. Because I'm not scared to make these tough decisions.
I'll say. See, player. I think all around.
Yeah, I think overall, absolutely.
I'm going to say Penny Hardaway.
I know I was going to say the same thing, Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Penny Hardaway.
No.
Because what he provided,
yes.
what he was going to provide, especially at that time, a 6'7" point guard, like not
do it all.
Not a off guard, not a combo guard,
right.
a 6'7" point guard with nasty court vision, athletic, explosive athletics. He could shoot it.
So yeah, first pick. All four of them boys are standing right here for your team.
I'm taking
you and
Penny.
GM.
I'm taking Penny.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Penny.
Not
because I'm taking Penny because you don't have to worry as much about putting guys around him. He makes guys better. Yeah. Like that's when you're thinking when you're thinking of building a franchise. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, Grant kind of had that. He became a facilitator, after a while. Oh yeah,
but Grant didn't have the jump shot that Penny.
No, he didn't have the jump shot, and he didn't have
the 3-point shot.
Shot. He didn't have that.
So Penny was money out to the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Grant was more mid-range, could shoot the three, but
and get you off.
He played an era where it was like, yo, get to the rack.
Yep.
It wasn't a lot of threes shot during that time, so he didn't really have to. He shot them, but he didn't really. It wasn't really a weapon.
Right.
Dang. So who went over him? Who coming off? And this is what I mean. This is why I said this is going to be easy but hard, because I think the person who has the least amount of years may be the person that has to come off. They don't have enough years.
I don't know if you can say that.
It's hard because
impact. It has to be something for impact.
Right.
If it's impact, Brandon Roy's off it, and y'all know that.
Okay.
All right.
No, that's not.
It's not that easy.
It's not that
easy. Or if you say just that,
that's what I'm saying.
Just my impact.
You said impact. I said longevity. So those are two different categories that we just said.
Right.
Impact, longevity.
Impact, longevity.
Impact. What do you mean by impact, though? On the
impact
team,
on the league. I'm gonna say on the league, not just the team.
Because Brandon Roy wore the wrong jersey.
What do you mean by wore the wrong jersey?
Just like we said with Hakeem.
No, I don't think that was the case with Brandon Roy.
Damian Lillard's just getting. He had to flame Russell Westbrook, and
he did.
But like
if he had a New York on his chest, he wouldn't be.
No, but like Damian, like Brandon, Damian is not breaking the mold. Right? He's a really, really good player, special player. But if you look at him and then look at somebody like Steph is breaking the mold where it's like he's a different type of.
I've never seen that guy before.
I talked to some kid the other day.
We've seen scoring guards. Damian Lillard.
Nobody plays like Damian Lillard's playing the point
Agent Zero. Agent Zero. We've had a player like that who can just get a point guard who can just get buckets and had range.
Mercifully, yeah.
I mean, Agent Zero was just like that. He was just like that.
I'm a DC, so I'm a huge fan. And it's funny. As big a fan as I am, I never considered him and Damian Lillard to be similar players.
Think about their games.
I know how athletic Gilbert Arenas was.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little bit tall. He's a little bit taller, but he's a little bit taller. So
I think
about
he was just
6'5".
more athletic. I think he was just straight up more athletic. He was fast.
Yeah.
But athleticism wasn't the dominant part of his game.
Yes, it was. Do y'all remember how he used to attack the basket? He would just float dribble on you, and he would just take off.
Yeah.
And he'll be at the rim, or he'll take off and pull up.
Look how he was built too. He was built a little bit different. He had wide shoulders, long arms.
Yeah, I give you that.
But I'm talking about as far as their games. Look at their games. They were scoring point guards who could get assists, but that wasn't really their strong point.
Right.
But they were scoring guards who could get buckets and had range.
Right.
So.
Because we're seeing him in his prime, and now we both have seen Gilbert.
And Gilbert in his prime?
Hibachi. Hall of Fame potential. Just some things in terms of his favor.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm taking Gilbert.
That's fine, but he's not on this injured.
He's
so
not.
Yeah, we're not talking about Gilbert.
Maybe if we have another list, he can be on that.
That's cool, yeah.
So then, Brandon Roy, you got to convince me why he does not need to go. Because as of right now, Grant played.
I can't convince you. Compared to the other three, I can't convince you why.
Is he the worst player on the list? That's another thing. Is he the least talented player on that list? And that's crazy.
That's unfair.
It's unfair because the other three have a more measurable impact, right? If you look at when they all came into the league, T-Mac, we didn't see that coming. And we didn't see a specimen like that, 6'9", two guard. He really was a two guard.
Yeah.
At 6'9", it can do everything. You had Penny, who was a 6'7" point guard in the early to mid '90s, which wasn't happening with the vision and stuff like that. And then you had Grant Hill, who was a do-it-all player who could score.
So you're saying this is between Grant Hill?
So I'm saying if you're saying because you said longevity and then you said
impact. I just said
right. So impact is a different name. So impact, Brandon Roy is the lower one. But if you say longevity, then now you're saying Penny, which me and Tim both agree that he can't come off.
So there's no way.
Who else can't come off? I mean, to me, T-Mac. So T-Mac made the Hall of Fame. So I think because of that,
you can't
because he had the longest run before he got injured.
Yeah. And
he did win a championship later with the Spurs. Even though he didn't really do anything, but with the Spurs, so he has the credentials and the numbers to get into the Hall of Fame, arguably.
But
right?
so does Grant Hill.
I think Grant Hill just made it to. I
think
think he's up for the Hall of Fame.
But he may get in because of college too, though.
That's true.
I look at.
That's true.
It's hard with basketball because there's no NBA Hall of Fame. It's just a basketball.
He was the 50 greatest players though back in '96.
He was. He was only in for 2 years.
Yeah, when they passed out the jacket.
He was only in for 2 years.
All them boys.
Wait a minute, no.
Yes, he was. I know you guys are the historians, but
no, he was watching it. He was there.
I thought Shaq was the youngest player that was on there.
No.
Are you sure?
I don't know if he was the youngest player.
I'm pretty
because
sure
Shaq came out in '92. I thought he was the youngest of the top 50 because the argument was that Dominique Wilkins should have been on and Shaq should have been weighted off.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't think Grant Hill made that. I had to push back on that. I don't think he made that.
Oh, we got him looking it up.
We're gonna check.
But that means that everybody in the Hall of Fame is making it, and Brandon Roy's not in the Hall of Fame, so he has to go.
You can't do that because it's not.
You brought this up.
No, because T-Mac has a different. It's not fair. It's not fair for T-Mac or even Penny because.
Penny Hall of Fame? Is he in the Hall of Fame?
Not yet, but he should be.
Will Penny make it? No, he's not. He doesn't have to.
And that's sad. That's sad.
He was potentially a first ballot easy.
I wasn't even trying to be funny and try to fry you. I was literally asking you, is Penny is he there?
No, but see, it's hard. Like I said, it's hard because there's guys in the Hall of Fame who had okay NBA careers, but they were great college players, and so they get in because it's the basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA. It's not like the NFL where if you were great in the NFL, don't matter what you did in college. Or vice versa.
So Grant Hill's going to the Hall of Fame.
He's getting in because of college.
So then you can't take Grant Hill.
Christian Laettner's in the Hall of Fame.
That was his coming out All-Star game, but he was not named one of the 50.
Right. He was not. No, I'm telling you, Shaq was the youngest on that list. And there was a lot of people upset that Shaq at the time that Shaq made it based on potential. Even though Shaq was putting up good numbers, they were saying, hold on. The 50 greatest, Dominique Wilkins' career was done at the time.
Yeah.
He should have been on that list. There was somebody else that they argued that should have been on that list over Shaq.
Because they sworn he was on that list.
They were saying
I'm not even trying to fry you.
I know he was up there, and I know Michael Jordan and Julius Erving were talking about him and Actually, matter of fact, I want to say the 50 greatest players was 97, right?
I thought it was 96.
96. That's my senior year.
It was 96?
Yep, 96.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right, so that All-Star game, when they had like the teal colors.
Oh, when they played San Antonio.
Yeah. That whenever that All-Star game was, there was an interview at halftime. Michael Jordan was talking to Dr. J, and then Dr. J asked him, you know, who would you say is you would pass the torch to? Like, I passed the torch to you, you know, whatever. And Mike said, first word out of his mouth was Hardaway is a great pick, and then he named Grant Hill. So those were like the top two to take the NBA, you know, on, because the way they came into the league, they just gangbusted it. Like, Grant Hill was just unbelievable, getting all these numbers on SportsCenter every night. Penny, when he came through, it was like Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan combined. Like, I heard somebody make that comparison because of how athletic Penny was.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like,
and blue chips.
And blue chips. Yeah, go look for blue chips on YouTube. Neon Bordeaux and Butch McCrae. Was Penny said. Mom took all that money and all that, you know.
And he finished. I mean, he would have got rookie of the year if it wasn't for.
He definitely would have got rookie of the year.
They came out with Weber, so
yeah, he definitely would have got rookie of the year. Yeah, they got traded for each other.
So Brandon Roy's gone.
Brandon out of that list, unfortunately, yeah, he got to go.
Okay, take it down. Who else? I need one more. We got
this is
so Brandon Roy's out.
Brandon Roy's out. That leaves Penny, Grant Hill, and I know what y'all gonna say too. Penny, Grant Hill, and T-Mac.
So I still say that T-Mac can't come out because he's already in the Hall of Fame.
True.
And remember, everything goes with them if they lose.
I got you. True.
Because now Impact is all three of them have had a great impact. So
is this college impact too?
No, T-Mac didn't play college.
Yeah, T-Mac didn't play college.
It's all strictly NBA.
I don't think Penny Hardaway was good at Memphis, but
he was real exciting at Memphis, right. But he didn't
play point guard at Memphis.
He was kind of off guard.
Right.
But
well, y'all know why I asked that though. Y'all know why.
And then Grant Hill was Grant Hill.
Because of Grant Hill. And if you're gonna take that away, Grant Hill's my favorite player. But if you take away what he did at Duke and just look at his numbers in the NBA, from which y'all convinced me, and this hurts me to say, I might cry later on tonight in my car. He gotta go.
You're saying Grant Hill gotta go?
I don't want to, y'all. I don't want to say that. You made me say that.
As much as I love Grant Hill,
because y'all
if
saying
there's a choice between T-Mac
and Magic Johnson.
No, Penny Hardaway.
Yeah,
Penny
Hardaway's crazy.
I had to rethink my Penny Hardaway thing. I had to be.
And here's the type of stuff that I think about. Like, if you hadn't seen Scottie Pippen, Grant Hill may have to steam. It would be tougher. It would be tougher for me. It would be tougher for me, is what I'm saying.
Who's better between those two?
Scottie
Pippen. Yeah, come on now.
Whoa, in their prime?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, two-way.
Scottie was a lock.
Not like Scottie Pippen.
He's a lockdown defender.
He accepted his role. You don't think if Grant Hill was put in a different role?
I don't think he would have been a successful defender.
Yeah,
I don't think he would have been that successful.
If he played with Michael Jordan,
Duke's not putting out lockdown defenders.
I think it just has to do with will and athleticism. It's defense.
It's a
Scottie just proved that when Jordan wasn't there that he can get numbers, which he did, right?
Yeah, he got numbers.
They didn't win.
They didn't win.
He got numbers. But he got numbers. But when Michael came back, all right, young boy, do your job, play your role. And that's what I'm thinking.
His role was robbing, but I mean that's fine.
Okay. So
Scottie's, he might be arguably one of the best defenders ever. Like
I agree.
You could argue he might be one of the best on the ball and off the ball.
I agree.
Lockdown defenders we had.
I'm not disputing. I like Scottie.
So he's definitely
people who think that Scottie Pippen shouldn't be on the all-time list and he ain't on that.
No dice.
They didn't watch him when they were young.
Sorry, y'all lame and dumb.
Or they're old.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're really old, really young.
So this is unanimous. The top two players on the all-time
list. Wait. I didn't agree with Grant coming off.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you did.
I did not.
You looked at me.
I did not.
And you winked or you looked at the camera.
Okay.
I said I had to I said I had to rethink the whole Penny thing. So I was on board with saying Penny should stay from the very beginning. But now that we're down to 3, and you're saying we have to include Grant Hill's college stuff in there.
No, we don't. I said let's take it out because you said T-Mac didn't go, right?
Yeah, T-Mac didn't go.
All right.
So we took that out.
Okay, so just impacting him.
And Penny didn't have that big of an impact. Y'all said at Memphis. He was nice, but
he was good, right?
He wasn't no.
He was good, but yeah, he was
stuff.
nah. He wasn't Grant Hill at Duke at Memphis, no.
Right.
So Grant Hill's off.
Oh, that hurts.
It hurts bad. That's why I said it hurts, but
you did this, Mustafa. That's on you.
Hey, but listen. I hope it gets listeners. I hope it gets listeners and viewers to Google Penny Hardaway if you didn't see him, because we're telling you that Grant Hill played longer.
Oh my God.
Grant Hill, I think, played 18 seasons. He ended up playing like a long time or something like that.
Yeah, they seen old Grant.
Yeah, they seen old Grant, but he still manufactured a long career.
He did,
so
right.
people could see him. But we're telling you.
Yeah, I am too.
We're telling you in essence that Penny's 3.5 years was worth more than Grant Hill's whatever he had.
Yeah.
But have y'all lost your minds with that?
No.
Like rethinking it?
No.
No, because in that short time, he had multiple 40-point games. He had triple doubles.
Yeah,
he went to the finals. Like everything was there.
Jordan was his. He was passing the torch to Penny. Like, you got this.
The East is yours.
You've never seen Michael Jordan do it. He didn't even do that as much for Kobe. The way he talked about Penny Hardaway. Nah.
And Penny came after them too, man.
Yep.
He did. Even when they lost the series, when they won the series, he came after them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they had to go and deal with like Nick Anderson and guys like that to win the series. There was no answer for Penny
at all.
So
even Shaq, they kind of was able to control a little bit.
I'm gonna even bring college career back into this. Over 18, let's just say 20 plus years of you guys watching Grant Hill, my favorite player growing up, does not weigh 3 years for Penny in the NBA.
If you put college back in, that does change something for me. But if we're just saying NBA impact and talent, then I'm saying that Penny Hardaway was a better player, a better prospect, and had a bigger impact.
Yep.
So who's our 2? Who did we say? And I can agree to this.
Penny and T-Mac.
Penny and T-Mac.
Penny and T-Mac.
Penny and T-Mac.
And we said bye-bye to Brandon Roy.
Bye-bye to Brandon Roy and Grant Hill.
Now, if Derrick Rose was on that list,
he's not over Penny.
He comes quick off.
He's not over Penny.
Why?
He comes off.
He's not over Penny.
Now, I didn't say he was over Penny, but
he's not over T-Mac.
I'm not saying that either.
Okay, who would he be over? Brandon Roy?
I just really respect how he came in.
I
respect how he came in high school. I respect his athleticism in high school. I respect how he moved differently in college. Like I told you, I'm a fan of people who's moving past.
Right.
Like Jordan moved differently. Y'all heard me say that 1,000 times.
You watch
That's
the
how I
80s
explain
games,
jump
yeah.
But when he came to the league, guys, he was moving at incredible speeds.
D Rose was a nightmare.
Different. He was something different to me. Like you guys gave Penny something different. I saw him as a different point guard. I never seen nobody move like that before.
I didn't think it was gonna last. I didn't really like him from the beginning.
Whoa.
I wasn't a D Rose fan. I didn't.
You wasn't a fan of what he could do?
No. I mean, I respected what he could do because he's a pro. I mean, I can't do it, so I gotta respect. I definitely respect him. But I'm saying when I watched him play, like the way his style of play, I didn't think it would last. Like I'm like, can he play 10 years like this? It's almost like watching Westbrook. Like I like Westbrook, but I worry I don't see
Westbrook was a poor man's Derrick Rose though to me.
Right, and I don't particularly like Westbrook sometimes.
And we're not asking. Like I said, that's why he's on this list. Yeah. His body and that style of play couldn't keep him on.
No.
Right? That's why I said he could be on this list, but is he going to get past Brandon Roy?
But even in his prime, I'm taking Brandon Roy over.
MVP the league.
We can argue about that too, but
yeah, we could.
We can argue about that. We can argue about that.
Do we have to pull up highlights? I wish we could. Maybe next time.
Everybody looks good on highlights.
We can. I mean, but you can do highlights, man. But
Brandon Roy in his prime against D Rose in prime, I'm taking Brandon Roy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking Brandon Roy.
Don't forget, I like
much bigger shot maker.
Yes. I like Brandon Roy. Yeah.
Higher volume scorer.
And if it wasn't for his knees deteriorating, the way that he played the game, Brandon Roy wasn't overly athletic. He could dunk on you and stuff like that, but he wasn't. It was a skill thing.
He got to his spots.
Right, it's a skill thing. His game could transcend 10 to 12 years, where I can say, like, I can see him keeping this up for a while.
Yes.
Where D Rose is like, all right, if his athleticism goes, what is he really holding his hat on? He just jump shot is like,
No, I get
not really consistent. So a lot of stuff was like, when he goes to the basket, He's so athletic, just like Westbrook. They're so athletic that they're getting up there. But when they lose that, what are they going to do?
Yeah, what's next?
What's next, right?
So
When you can't get
somebody that we can put on there real quick while y'all a few more minutes.
Bernard King.
Yeah, man.
Y'all going back. Y'all gonna have to.
Oh my goodness.
Speak on Bernard King.
Oh man.
How he
Buckets.
School.
Buckets.
How he
6'5",
buckets, how he
6'5".
scored.
LeBron James in the '80s, big burly body. People were scared. They move out his way.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen any player in the NBA. You know how when coaches teach you the angle that you're supposed to take when you come across half court and you go. He did it every single time. His angling was perfect, attacking the basket, and nobody wanted to get in front of him. He was a vicious scorer, mid-range,
athletic,
a bucket.
Hall of Famer?
Definitely. Definitely Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's in there. He's in there.
And tough. So like they're talking about this thing with Curry with him dislocating his finger right now, having to wear it taped, right? And you know, like Kobe and them guys tape their fingers. But Bernard King had a game against Isaiah Thomas where I don't know if he broke or dislocated the fingers on both hands and still had 40-something points. Isaiah Thomas talks about, he's like, he was broken and we still couldn't do that with him. It was like a playoff game when he played with the Knicks maybe against Detroit, and he broke or dislocated both fingers on both hands.
What derailed his career? What
injuries? Knee. I think he had knee injuries.
Knee injuries.
It's multiple repeated.
Mm-hmm.
So not like one major.
Because he came back and then he had another one, and that was the.
Would he get?
Because he played later, like with the Nets, he wasn't really that good.
Yeah, he played Brandon Roy with him, who comes off the list real quick. Bernard King, T-Mac, Grant Hill, and who? Penny Hardaway. Go ahead and say it. I said it like it was a hard question, but I think I know where we have to go with this.
I still take Bernard off because.
Oh, for real?
Because out of those, so.
No, Grant gotta go. Grant's the one here. And it hurts
over Bernard,
Grant's off it.
Yeah.
Dang, Grant Hill.
I love Grant Hill.
Shout out to Grant Hill.
I love Grant Hill. That's my guy, man.
Sorry,
Great job on TV. Sorry, Grant. And he was my favorite player growing up. I had all your jerseys Christmas.
You just never know how these things are going to play out.
That's what I'm saying. When you start thinking, because it forces you to remember, and you start playing stuff, and it's like, nah.
I really thought, I kind of knew y'all was going to shut down Brandon Roy. I threw him on as a little wrinkle because a lot of people don't know him. But
Brandon Roy was nasty.
Yeah, I kind of thought he would come off early on our list, but I didn't see Grant Hill, though.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so our final two were who? One more time for me.
Penny Hardaway and Tracy McGrady.
T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. Who's doing the list next week? Is it back to me or is it Pat?
I think it's me. It's me this time.
Yeah, they send you a list, or you're gonna make up your own? Because he said he had a list and then he got nervous and had me send him the list.
All right, you can send it to me.
We worked on that list together though, so it's like we put that as the go-to.
I'll send it to you.
And if I come up with something a little bit more controversial that I know will get us in the listeners.
I really wanted one. I really wanted a controversial. That's why I was.
Yeah, I'm gonna think of a controversial one.
I got a good one.
I'm gonna think. I got a couple good ones. Matter of fact, the one I would. I'm gonna give a preview.
Hold on. How much time do we have left?
The top. We only have a couple minutes though because we're getting to that time, but.
We have 7 minutes, Patrick.
Top four. The top four for next week.
Don't piss me off and
will be the top 4 1-2 combos NBA of all time.
Are you giving us the combos or are we just getting the titles?
I'm going to sit
combos
down.
Or trios?
No, not trios.
Big threes?
Not trios. No, we're not doing big threes.
Historically, we can go back and have a little bit more.
We're not doing big threes because big threes won't make it controversial.
Parrish, Bird McHale.
Yeah, you can't really add Parrish. Parrish.
It's other names though. I just figured out.
I got you. Yeah, it's other names. That's what I'm saying. 1-2.
No, 3.
1-2.
I mean, duos do make it controversial because you're gonna leave some people out.
That's what I'm saying.
We got to do a big
it's
three.
Gonna be controversial. We can do a big 3. We can put
maybe
that later.
Maybe the big 3 era.
We can put that later.
Which was like what, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Starting now?
Yeah, it's about 10. A little bit more than 10 now.
Okay.
So but 1-2 punches, and I'm talking, and this is not the list for next week, but when you start thinking automatically, you think Kemp, Gary Payton.
Ooh, see, I didn't think
Jordan
about
Pippen.
Wait a minute, you going back to NBA Jam?
But I'm saying that's what you gotta think about. That's what
you
gotta
remember
think
that though,
about.
right?
Oh, of course I do.
Heck, Detlef, on that
You
game,
gotta
I
remember
was
that.
always thinking it was Detlef Shrimp and Sean Kemp.
Oh yeah, but now when you talk
That was
about
NBA Jam.
you talk about real life 1-2. That's Peyton and Kemp.
Yeah, no, I get you. I know.
Peyton, Kemp, Jordan Pippen.
NBA Jam. Do y'all remember that game?
Stockton Malone.
Stockton Malone. That's
Michael
that's tough. Yeah.
Stockton Malone. We
Yeah.
saying it right now.
But I mean that may not be the final list.
Wait.
Bro, you want to leave a
Gary
lot of.
Payton and Sean Kemp
there's a
cannot be
ton.
on that
I'm
list.
There's a ton of
I'm
people
just
that's
thinking
gonna
of
come
like
on.
like
I
five
like
off the
I
bat.
like you
ton
said
of
that,
people
but they
that's
can't be
gonna
on the
come
list. You know they can't be on that.
No, but
that was good.
Who can't? What? Peyton and Kemp?
They can't be on there.
I
All
don't
time,
know.
bro.
I don't know.
Charles
Well,
Barkley
I
and
guess we'll
Dr.
see.
J. No.
Nah, they didn't
No,
play
that
enough
wasn't
time.
a
They didn't
duo.
play
I'm
enough
just talking
time.
about
You can
something
say Doc and Moses.
Okay.
That's a 1-2.
Wait, do they
Magic
have-
and Kareem. Hey.
Magic and Kareem, right?
Shaq and Kobe, of course.
Bird and McHale.
Bird and McHale.
Who else?
Isaiah, Joe Dumars. They were tough. They were tough.
See, that's like one of them elders. That's like my Sidney Poitier joint. I
They
just
tough,
can't. You
man.
can't say no to those.
Tim Duncan, David Robinson. Tough.
Okay.
So yeah, we're gonna have some fun
That's
next
your
week. It's
job.
gonna be tough.
Okay.
I got it.
Take some time this week.
That's what I'm saying. You have to take
Don't
time.
worry about
Somebody's
the power
gonna get
hour.
left off.
Don't worry about the power
Somebody's gonna get left off. Okay, you trying to be smart on the low.
hour. No, I'm
That's
just saying,
cool.
don't worry about the power hour.
Somebody's gonna get left off, but I promise that the
Those
the
remain.
the group that gets picked, we'll be able to debate them and then justify why one should go and one should stay.
I'm gonna go ahead and say this.
Go ahead.
And I'll give you last words, Lopez, before we close. If Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars is on that list, y'all gonna have to fight me to get them off that list.
That's fair. I mean, that's
There's a lot
fair.
of heavy equipment in here. I can hold my own.
That's very fair.
Because
And
I
if
feel like that way about
if
Iverson.
Jordan and Pippen is on that list,
And I'll
it'll
count-
be
I'll-
another fight.
Oh,
It'll be
that's a
fight.
tough
So
list.
listen, this gonna be good. This gonna be good. Trust me.
Shout out to the germs in this room because I'm coughing all over this place.
Killing
No
us.
ventilation. Doors closed.
So, hey man, you gotta keep it sound.
It's a dirty joint right here.
And we'll all be sick this week.
Y'all will be. Because of me.
No, we drinking that water, so
Thanks,
it's
Dad.
Flush it out.
flushing it out
I'm
ourselves.
just, it comes in and goes out.
I some antibiotics, but
Yeah.
who? We have 4 minutes. Who would you not want to have leave off your list? Like I said, I feel like Iverson with that joint. You can't. I can't take Joe Dumars.
Who's the duo with Iverson?
No. You know how I feel about Iverson. When y'all be trying to fry me about taking Iverson off
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I can give you a couple that's probably better than that duo. Although
Doesn't matter.
I respect that duo, but
Doesn't matter.
Now let me
It's
ask a
cool.
question.
You can.
Let me ask a question to add a little bit more flavor, and y'all can shoot it down, and we'll keep it the way it is. But would you rather do the duo of eras, or would you rather do all time?
so you're saying the best '80s
Do
duo,
both.
best '90s duo?
Do both.
Right. See, because
Ooh.
that
Do both. That's more content. When you guys
Okay.
are fat mouthing, like y'all be talking about the.
So let's
content.
take because I know everybody can't,
Mhm.
no slight to our older listeners and fans, but older basketball fans, but we'll start with at least the 80s because that's easily accessible, even on YouTube and stuff. Some stuff from the 70s we may not be able to go back to Oscar Robertson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which crazy 1-2 duo, but we'll go 80s, 90s, 2000s,
Millennium and tens.
and we can do 10s.
Okay.
All right.
So it's going to depend on how you frame it as far as the criteria. So
Yeah.
that's
I
gonna
like
be-
how you did this, man.
Yeah.
Lopez, I like how you did this. Ask me
Yeah.
why.
Why?
I'm
Why
glad
you like
you
that?
asked me. Because honestly, no, for real, Lopez, I'm glad he angled it this way because I thought he was going to ruin it.
No.
But how you did it was really good. Because now you have me thinking like, oh crap, who's he going to come with?
Right.
Even though we already threw out about 8 different combinations.
That's what I'm saying.
And now we're going to break this down by era later on. Because that could
Break
be
it down
something
by
we do in a
era.
month.
Yep.
Best 70s, best 80s, best 90s, best 2000s, best 2010s.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna be tough. We gonna try to get it in the whole show.
So shout out to everybody that's listening. Thank you so much for y'all support. Once again,
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
please refer a friend. We don't charge anything for none of this stuff. All we do is ask y'all to spread the word and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or follow us on one of our platforms. One more time, Patton, what are all the platforms that we are on?
All
right
of the
now?
platforms: Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, YouTube, and Stitcher, and also Podbean.com.
That's not entirely correct. We're on instantgrits.podbean.com.
That's why I pointed to you so you can say it all the time. So stop going against trying to
I kind of did just want to just try to correct.
Exactly, I know you did. It didn't work.
But shout out to the germs in this room percolating. You remember that song? It's time for the percolator.
Wah, 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 wah,
Yeah,
wah,
you do.
wah,
See,
wah. Yeah.
I used to SpongeBob and dance my little,
I never did that. I just listened to it.
The little guys always could percolate. That was like this.
Yeah, you got longer legs.
Hey, I would be getting it in college. I was a little dance machine. But guys, thank you so much. Remember, everything starts with you. Hold yourself accountable. You got to search within before you can search without and help other people. Everything starts with you. Make moves, move markets. Stay blessed, guys. Peace.
All right, guys. Till next time.
Peace and love.
Push-ups. See, he forgot.
I didn't forget.
He
Brother.
did. Yeah, he did. Look at this.
I did not forget.
You gonna do them?
Yeah, I'm gonna do them.
For real?
I'm gonna mix this first.
You ain't gotta do it for real if you don't want to.
All right, cool. I don't gotta do it.
See, that's how weak. That's how.
And I'm joking because I know
No,
he's
you're not.
gonna start talking smack.
do them after this next one. Though. We could push stop.
No, I already pushed that. I'm just rolling back.
I'm talking about on this.
Oh, on this. All right.
See what I mean?